I have a community college question.
Yeah.
Sort of serious one. So, okay, so you were not a great high school student, but you went to community college,
Yeah.
got you serious on, and you got into a great four-year school. Cool. Were there
Yeah.
many people who went in the other direction, who were maybe like could have gone to a UCLA coming out of high school, went to community college, and lost their, I don't know, passion for achievement, and maybe made the wrong call?
I hear stories about dudes being so in love with their girlfriend that they forego offers from great schools to do the local community college thing, and
Uh-huh.
they end up knocking her up and working at a Little Caesars pizza. I've heard stories like that.
But not necessarily just straight up academics where like I don't know, somehow in high school they were great students and they go to community college and something about the commuting or who knows what causes them to lose their drive. Not so
Yeah, I
much.
guess I haven't really heard that. And I'm
Okay.
not even sure. I mean, is college even a good path necessarily? I could have done what I'm doing right now without college, so I don't even see it as that much of a tragedy.
It's good for some,
Mhm.
right? Like, there's plenty of engineers and doctors and lawyers and,
Yeah.
you know, even business managers who apply stuff they learned in college.
And
Yeah.
it was good for me, I guess, to learn that I didn't want to be one of those people. So I needed to go down this road to not have regrets later on and like go to CC when I'm 40 years old and
What'd
try
you
to be
major in?
history.
Okay.
I only majored in it because I heard it was the easiest major at UCLA, though. It was a very strategic move.
My,
Cowardly.
Was it really easy?
Yeah, so fucking easy. It was easy. It was easier than community college.
so little I generally try not to talk about my kids at all because they're not on social media and they didn't put themselves in in a place where people should have an opinion on them. But I'll say this: Hope made Dean's List this semester, which is pretty cool. One of the things she does, if there's a course that's not important, in this case, foreign language is not important to her, is she'll find out what the athletes are taking. And so she took Portuguese. I guess
Yeah.
that's the blow off language at UNC, and that's what she did there. But I like that skill. If life throws some unnecessary hoop to jump through, and you develop the knack for getting around it or dealing with it in an efficient way,
Yeah.
maybe that's one of the lessons she picks up in college. I took do you know what a CLEP exam is? Are you guys familiar with this?
No.
College level equivalency program. So you can take pretty much the final exam of a course if you convince them like, hey, look, I'm pretty good at this already. I don't need college courses on it. So I had a year of biology coming up, and I was like, fuck, that sounds awful. So I bought the biology textbook and I studied it for 6 weeks, and I took the final exam to like biology 3. It was trimesters, and I somehow passed it. I was smart enough at biology for just one day to pass the final exam of the course, and I got a year's worth of biology credit for just a couple of weeks worth of work. And I still look back at that time saving as a good call.
It's funny you say the thing like I knew enough about biology for one day.
Yeah.
It takes me back to my senior year, my Italian 2 final, which was a 6-hour class. It was really fucking hard because I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to fucking do it. I didn't want to have to learn a language, but I had to take one. And Italian was the only one that you could do in 2 semesters instead of 3.
Okay.
And I made a mistake of taking Italian 1 sophomore year. And then I was like, that sucked. This is a problem for senior Taylor. And I took Italian 2 2 years later. I had forgotten
all of it.
Everything. 100% of everything. Like all I knew was like walk in and I'd be like, buongiorno. Like that was about it. And then like, saying hello. Yeah. It's just like really, really having to ham it up. And first of all, the only reason like I passed that class is because I went into office hours all the time just to make sure she knew like this retard is giving it his all and he is doing bad. And I kept telling her like, I mean, I'm really trying. I just, I messed up not taking it 2 semesters in a row, silly me. But yeah, you're saying, it for one day. I remember taking that enormous Italian 2 final at the end of my senior year of college. And like, I can feel myself forgetting how to conjugate words and what the words mean as it's going on. And I'm like panicking through. And she definitely gave me some pity points and like effort points for that. But I remember we had to do a speaking test once. And I dreaded it all semester. She's like, so what else? here's a list of 50 questions that I might ask you, and you have to say at least a couple sentences in response to each of them. And it would be things like if it was easy, it'd be like, what did you have for lunch? Or what are you going to have for lunch tomorrow? Or the difficult ones were when she threw in like past, present, like conjugation. When she's like, what would you have been thinking had this, like that kind of stuff. And I swear to God, I like in my apartment, I was just figuring out the simplest way, like the way you could use the most in every answer. And I did that. And like, I don't even remember enough of the Italian to say it, but she'd be like, Taylor, what, in Italian, obviously, what are you going to do tonight with your friends or with your family? And I'd be like, today I will eat dinner. Today I will drink wine with my friends. Today I will watch a movie with my friends and drink wine. Today I will have snacks and watch a movie and drink wine and have snacks with my family and my like let that level of response. And she had to have known when she was asking things like, she's like, what are you going to rent from the library? And it's just like, I will rent a book from the library. Then I will watch a movie with my friends. Then I will drink wine and eat food with my friends while watching the movie. And it was like, it was one little sentence and then straight back to having wine and snacks and watching movies with my friends.
I think her primary concern wasn't your conjugation; it was your alcoholism.
Yeah, it was, it was the easiest phrase to learn.
Drink wine today.
Il bebe del vino. No, that's not even right. Del, that's
vino.
That's thing. Yeah, vino. Bebe, yeah, that's something like that. But yeah, that was the most. Have you ever been so bad at taking a test you're embarrassed the whole time, and you can see it in her eyes, and it's
you scan a whole page and you're like, I kind of know what this one thing means, but like, I'm lost here. You're like, you feel like you've got to leave. You're like I shouldn't take this. This is not in my best interest to let them know just how ignorant I am about this stuff we've been doing all week. They're gonna wonder where I've been.
Dude,
like in the questions on the fucking test, there were multiple times where there would be a question in Italian, obviously on an Italian test, and you have to respond in Italian, and I would like have no idea what the question was asking, and I would go up to the front of the class and be like, Senora Wilson, just a clue, just to tell me kind of what's going on here. And she's like, this, and I'm like, I assure you I don't. What's the question? And like there were at least a couple times where she got kind of flustered and was like, it's asking, what are you going to do after you go to the discotheque tonight? And I'd be like, yes, have a snack, watch a movie, have some fun. Oh man, I really bullshitted my way through that class. But like, as long as you participate, this is for any college people out there. If you're in a class like that, math, this isn't going to cut it. But something that's like you got your professor's weighted kind of opinion of you. Go into office hours, participate your fucking tits off in class. There were 30 people in that class. Do you know how many times a day I just wrong answer, wrong answer, wrong answer, nonstop. I'm drilling.
Thought you had a learning disability.
Hey,
like you're so cocksure of yourself, you're just raising your hand. Ooh. Vino. And she's just like, yes, Taylor.
I know.
Yes.
I'm going
so
to
many
have
times
wine.
She have to be Taylor in Italian or whatever the fuck, and it's like can I do English just 30 seconds, just to ask my question, because I certainly won't be able to answer your question in Italian if I don't know what we're talking about in Italian. Oh my God, that class stressed me out so much more than anything else because it sucked.
I will confirm, Taylor, I can totally agree with you that classes like Italian, history, English are a little bit subjective in their grading. At UCLA, it was super subjective. So go to class, participate, sit in the front row. And also, if you just show up at every class and take notes, that's going to cut your studying load come finals or come midterms by like 80% because it'll just be bouncing around in your skull somewhere.
That's my number one tip for school. It's so obvious, but you're like, Woody, I'm going to be a freshman. What should I do? You should attend class. This is the first time in your life that No one's going to give a fuck if you attend classes. Now, it depends on the class, but there will be classes where they don't take attendance. They don't even notice your absence. Go anyway. Hot tip. At class, they tell you all the answers. That's what the class is. So just go. Just show up and listen, and it makes a huge difference. You think to yourself, no. A good idea would be PlayStation now, and then I'll teach myself this chapter later. That is so much more difficult.
It does make it so much harder.
Seems like with modern technology, like if you were good at those classes, you could make like forget a career. Your career could be helping people cheat at the classes. Like if everyone had like Google glasses or whatever, so that it's like I got a camera and the guy can read like what you're looking at and an earpiece, and you've got a guy who just knows fucking math or knows history. He'd just literally be sitting down the hallway or in a van outside, go old school with it. Just how much would you pay to like ace a midterm, right?
Oh, well, imagine this. Imagine paying a guy to go in and take the LSAT, the law school admission test for you, where a great score versus a mediocre score is going to mean hundreds and hundreds, maybe millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars.
I got one
in
for
career
you.
opportunity.
What if you just get into forging these diplomas? Everybody's old. How do I get into this school, into that school? The end goal is just a piece of paper, right? Like how many jobs have you been to where they actually like called the university and like check to see, hey, you know Matt, right? Who do you think I am? I just work here.
I don't know. Do they check your references? They check if you graduated? Do they?
Who does that? Can you imagine?
I don't think any job that I've had has done
I
that.
think Keemstar lost his job. He lied about going to college. I hope I have this right, but I think he lied about going to college at some law firm, and when they found out that they fired him. And he's like, "But I've been doing this job successfully
at a law firm as well." Like that's what I'm getting at.
I might be mixing him up with a TV show, but
just
I think
keep
I have
lying.
that right.
Just keep lying. Well, I work for one law firm; it'll work for another.
Yeah.
There was there's one more thing I remembered about that Italian class. There was this guy in there. And I mean, it's my senior year of college. How old are you then? Like 21, 22, something like that. And this guy was like 28 or so in the class. And, you know, I didn't know his whole life story.
Okay.
His name was John, though. Forgot his last name after the first time I met him. So he's still in my phone as John Italian. Haven't spoken to him in 9 years or 7, 8, whatever it is. But this guy was the ballsiest cheater I've ever seen in my life. It was like a suicide by cop style cheating where it's like, do you want to get caught? Are you trying to get found out? And this guy, it was like, and as the semester went on, he would get more and more ballsy. Initially, he just would have a note card with all the conjugations and all the words and like vocab stuff written out, and he would put it on his like thigh. And I would like sit. And I was always so afraid of cheating, like in college, because it was like my head was always like, I'd rather really try and scrape by with like a C than what happens if they catch you cheating, which is like they might fucking expel you and keep your money, you know, like
right.
Know, that's high risk. It's not worth it for a fucking Italian grade. But he evidently disagreed, and he for the first couple tests on his thigh, next couple tests on the desk with his paper partially covering it. I swear to God, on the final. This guy sitting in the second row, like very visible. He took out 3 note cards and laid them at the top of his desk and then took the test. And he was such an asshole in class, such a difficult person. I guarantee the teacher saw and knew and did not want to deal with him the following semester. And so she just let him like just ace his test basically. And she had to have known because he never did his homework. Ever. Never did anything. He only had like hundreds on the tests, and that's how he did well in the class. He just missed every class.
We need to call this guy and figure out what he's doing.
I'll give John Italian. How old is he now? 36? Let's just give John
Are you really
Italian
calling
a call.
him?
No, I'm not going to call him.
So
hey, I'm doing my podcast. You remember that random guy that you... No, he would not know me, and I would...
Let me